Hello and welcome to my presentation, Verbal Behavior in Language, Thinking, Consciousness, and Science. Of the 12 assumptions posited by Del Prado and Migley in their article, Some Fundamentals of B.F. Skinner's Behaviorism, the last assumption on the generality of behavioral principles, the full complexities of human activity, including language, thinking, consciousness, and science, are behaviors to which all these features apply, appealed most to me due to my interest in Skinner's assertions about private events in behaviorism. Del Prado and Migley look at language, thinking, consciousness, and science, each on its own, to fully explore Skinner's view on these topics. All four topics start with an understanding of what Skinner calls verbal behavior. The first topic is on language. This is where Del Prado and Migley introduce Skinner's verbal behavior. First, language is to be recognized as a behavior in its own right. Second, being the term verbal behavior is preferable over the term language. Next, the behavior is the part of the operant class. Verbal behavior is selected by environmental consequences. It is subject to functional analysis, and it is the starting point for the three-term contingency of behavior. The key point of verbal behavior is the behavior of a speaker is reinforced by a listener. There are two categories verbal behavior can be placed into: contingency shaped and rule governed. On thinking, thinking is simply another behavior, not overt or covert, weak or strong. Thinking is a behavior that involves a speaker and a listener. The main distinction is that the speaker and the listener can be one and the same. On consciousness, Skinner noted two classes of consciousness. The first class belongs to the awareness of the environment. Both humans and non-humans may present consciousness in this way. The second is based on social contingencies and so assigns the humans. We create rules for our behavior based on the verbal contingencies of other people. We then use these rules to govern our behavior. Science, like the concepts before, is behavior as well. Scientists are people first. Skinner states are as affected by their environment as everyone else, as their behavior is contingency based. The process of formulating ideas about different contingencies, experimentation, and then the reporting of these results is a form of verbal behavior. The product of this process are laws that indicate behavior based on controlling variables. Scientific terms in scientific knowledge are dictated not necessarily by their meaning, but in relation to the context in which they're used. Understanding verbal behavior is crucial to accepting the concepts Del Prado and Migley put forth in their discussion of Skinner's fundamentals of behaviorism. Verbal behavior has a special character only because it's reinforced by its effects on people, at first other people, but eventually the speaker himself. The speaker is influenced by the environment to which the listener responds through behavior. The following articles aid in this understanding by providing insight on the role of verbal behavior in identifying what private events are, examining the impact of vocabulary in the verbal context, behavioral context in which the terms originate, and linking verbal behavior to social constructionism. J. Moore's 1980 article on behaviorism and private events expands on Skinner's account of private events by providing further explanation of what private events are. A verbal report of an internal sensation or the influence of such phenomena as thinking, consciousness, and the like. The key distinction between radical behaviorism and other schools of thought, mainly methodological behaviorism, is the acceptance of private events. Moore's detail of verbal reports of an internal sensation breaks down the way the three-term contingency of reinforcement as an antecedent discriminative stimuli, a response, and a reinforcing consequence are seen in these verbal reports using the example of pain. Reporting I am in pain is a statement asserting an internal event. The individual has come to label this eternal sensation not by their own devices, but through differential reinforcement by the verbal community for the public features associated with pain. The next article is B.F. Skinner's 1989 article, The Origins of Cognitive Thought. This article was actually cited and passages were used by DePrato and Midgley in their article. At the core of verbal behavior is the words we use. Skinner states verbal contingencies of reinforcement explain why we feel or introspectively observe. ABA professionals constantly have to flip between using technical language and speaking with colleagues and words used in commonplace. This article I found interesting because Skinner addresses how many, 80 in total, words or phrases used to refer to states of mind or cognitive processes are rooted in either some aspect of behavior or related to the reinforcement contingencies of behavior. The words were grouped by the bodily conditions that are associated with the words. Those groups are doing, sensing, changing, staying changed, wanting, waiting, thinking, and states of mind. The next two slides give further detail about the different groups of words, including doing, sensing, changing, and staying changed, wanting, waiting, thinking, and states of mind. The last article reviewed was Bernard Gerwin's 1992 article, Behavior Analysis and the Social Construction of Knowledge. Social constructionism is an epistemological view which looks to explain how people develop their account of the world we live in, how knowledge is created being part of that account. As far as the application of behavior analysis in the social construction of knowledge, Gerwin refers to Heimline's two types of knowledge: knowing how behavior shaped by the environment and knowing that behavior that occurs with the appropriate verbal behavior. The latter is important in the discussion of verbal behavior as the appropriate behavior is influenced by the correct context, is dictated by the social community. Control and maintenance of verbal behavior is dependent upon reinforcement of others. In conclusion, verbal behavior is the common link to understanding Skinner's view of the intricacies of human behavior as DePrato and Midgley has presented them. The significance of verbal behavior to the fundamentals of behaviorism is apparent in the many articles and ideas the concept has inspired. Thank you all for bearing with me. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the fall.